This Circa Survivor Strategy Edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Edge Boost, the bank account built for bettors. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with promo code SGPN and get a $25 deposit bonus.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner of picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Be honest, Sean, that sounded like one of those open wheel cars coming down the back stretch in Indy.
Nice Indy 500 reference. We just had the NASCAR Gambling Podcast guys on last night. Check that out. Indy 500 picks, NASCAR or Coca-Cola 600 picks, Kyle Larson takes. How do NASCAR drivers take a pee? We covered it all.
I got a DM on Discord giving me a heads up that Max Verstappen was on the thumbnail.
Oh, yes, that was the inside joke.
I feel disappointed that I have to explain the joke to people.
But that's how you know it's a good inside joke. Some people don't get it.
That's not a good inside. That's not a good joke.
This man, no laughing matter when he comes on the show. Host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. You know him, you love him. CJ Sullivan, aka the man in the box. What's happening, CJ?
What's up? Yep, dead serious episode here. You're right. No laughing matter.
Messing around.
No messing around. Just
Thank
pure hardcore handicapping of a game 4 months from now.
Yes, we are. We're going to be talking.
One way to look at it.
3.5.
Talking NFL Survivor, Circa Survivor. If you're watching this live, youtube.com/sports gambling podcast. The big announcement is coming tomorrow afternoon, where we will know the official rules, any small minor quirks to the formatting and the official payout. So looking forward to that. They will announce the prize pool for Circa Survivor, Circa Millions. Of course, obviously we all three will be playing it. And of course, get in if you need a proxy, footballcontest.com, promo code SGP, get you 15% off the proxy fees. Good times, Kramer. What now? I don't think I tweeted it out. I didn't see you respond to the tweet, but what do we expect the total prize pool for Circa Million and Circa Survivor to be?
Well, if we're gonna, we're doing this here on the eve of the big announcement.
Yes.
Are we all wagering a guess here?
Yeah, I engaged with the tweet.
I understand that. But the podcast audience that's listening probably has no idea. Most of these people they're not on social media. Most of our audience is definitely not.
They did 10 million guaranteed, 10 million for the Survivor, 6 million for Millions,
and they got to about 20 last year.
Yeah, because the
14.2 in Survivor.
Right.
Survivor obviously can go over, so they give it all 100% payback in both. And
they both can go over.
Oh, you're right. I don't know if Circa Million
didn't go over by that much.
Okay, so they gave out more than $20 million, which, in hindsight, maybe I adjust my pick. My initial was 17.5, but CJ, you've been speculating. I will update my prediction because, as Kramer pointed out, they went over it in Circa Survivor. I'm going to say 20.5 million guaranteed, and there will be a third contest.
Interesting.
CJ?
No, I did not reply to your tweet or engage with your tweet, but I did a little more than that. If you haven't noticed, I've put out an entire web series, a beginning short series, an entire segment that I manifested this number. This number wasn't out there. It's obviously not even out there till tomorrow, but I started months ago my campaign to turn $20 into $20 million. And where did I come up with 20 million? Because that's what the number is going to be. Okay. It's going to be 20 million coming from Circa Survivor. Now it might go over, like you said, just like last year.
Yeah.
But 20 number
guaranteed.
Exactly. Guaranteed 20. And even if
just from Survivor or both.
Probably both. I see.
Because I misspoke. There were only 5,800 and.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought million went under.
Yeah, 5,816 entries. Yes. In, so there was a small
overlay.
There was overlay in a million, but 14 in the Survivor. So I believe if it was 16 last year, you come with the clean 20 million. I know one thing. I'm not changing my title no matter what he puts out there tomorrow because clicks are clicks.
Well, and remind people, because you've been talking about in the VSiN show, you've been talking about your show, but remind people how your journey $20 to 20 million. Walk people through it. Get them up to speed in case they missed.
Sure, I'll go through it real quick because it was set up just like this. The three of us, doing a segment on your VSiN Friday night show. We would give out a pleaser each week, and then we
sucker bets, supposedly
sucker bets they would say. But now look what it's going to lead to. We would each pick one team. We'd put three of them in there. 25 to 1 bet, $20 each. And that's what we did. Week 18, we finally hit it. We banked it. $500 each. Took that 500. Of course,
nice.
You guys had the ticket, so I'm like, all right, Ryan, what do you want to do with it? You want cash? But of course not. I want another ticket. And so, you go. I have the $500. I blew 200 because that's what you do. That's the law. You blow 200 immediately. But with the 300, I told him to put that ticket the following week because this was week 18 before the playoffs started. An exacta for the Eagles to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, to destroy a dynasty, to make Taylor Swift cry. 17 to 1. So that turned into about a little over 5,000. And now with that $5,000 ticket, Ryan started getting not nervous, but he's like, all right, now I got an actual ticket here you're sitting on. What should I do with this? You bet that again, because now I had the Survivor in my eyes. I'm like, well, now I can get the max tickets. The max entries, I mean, because last year I did a road to 10 million. I got around 5, 4, 3, whatever it was. Like, let's get to 10. Let's double this. So we shoved that on the Oklahoma City Thunder early February, by the way. This number was to win the West at wound up getting minus 120. Thought it's not a great number, but that number kept climbing. We never saw that number again. They're minus 680 right now, by the way. Oklahoma City Thunder to win the West.
Oh my God. Some people are trying to get you to hedge,
and
Timberwolves are plus 470 right now. I tell you what, but if they lose game 2, they might be even plus 1,000. I might have to, but I won't.
I even went as far to not swipe my card on this bet.
Oh wow, great. Okay, so CJ
will get the
points. Great anxiety to know
because then if you lose the ticket,
that's why we checked on the ticket a couple days ago.
Ryan did have a moment of panic where he said to me, and I won't reveal our hiding. We have it's in plain sight, but it's also a hiding spot of where we store the tickets for. If you're in the Patreon pick'em and you get a Circa ticket, it goes in that hiding spot. I put
anything important goes in there.
It's just all tickets.
I will say I'll let you off the hook because you did bring it up recently. Actually, last time I was in the office here, and it was strange to me because you never do that. Because before you're like, I got the safe, I love it, ticket. You're like, so do you want to hold this thing or do you want to sing? I just go like, that's weird. No. We have something good going.
Just
here.
Checking.
We have something good. You're the mule. You're the one that goes to Vegas each week for it to back and forth. You let it run. But I'll let you off the hook after the series. I won't touch it before the series, but after the Oklahoma City Minnesota series, win or lose, I'll take it off your hands from there because I'm already planning.
All right.
I'm already looking at planning a one of those beautiful 2-day $400 inclusive stays at Circa that Circa's allowing to maybe because I still have a little work to do. This is just the next step, obviously. It'll get me right around 9ish, so I need to push that more towards 11. It's because we went up some future funds as well and get a million. So then I'm thinking 10 survivors, 1 Circa million. There's no sense having multiple Circa millions. So get 11. So I might do an old fashioned, like I did last year. The Stanley Cup.
Yeah, that's what started the
That's
journey.
What started it all. When I was driving to work here from LA to Eagle Rock.
Kept on going.
I missed that exit for Harvey Drive on the 134. And I said, well, the next stop to me is obviously Las Vegas, 5 hours away. And I called up.
Made great time.
Yeah, I did make great time. I called up. I said, you know what? I'm not going to make it in today. I have to go to Las Vegas to place a paper parlay in before the finals start. And I said, luckily, I work at a place called the Sports Gambling Podcast Network.
Yes, very understandable.
Yeah, one of the only places where they answer go, yeah, of course, makes sense. We'll see you next week. I'm like, no, I'll be back tonight. Yeah. I'll be back by 8. I was actually back home in bed by 8 o'clock. One of my best accomplishments.
Business trip.
Yeah, it was.
And then immediately probably went to bed, right? 9 hours of
driving. It was a grind. I'm not a teamster over here. Those are your younger days.
The space between LA and Vegas.
Yeah.
is the equivalent of the flyover states.
Yes,
in Southern California.
Absolutely.
It's kind of cool.
There's nowhere really to
and it was 111 that day. It was like one of those days.
It's like kind of cool visually because it's just the desert, but it can get obviously super boring if you have to if you want to stop somewhere. There's no good.
Oh, I love the desert. Yeah. There's lots to look at. I'm just saying it's also not. CJ talking about how there's nowhere to stop between the office in Vegas. Right. It's kind of an accurate step.
Yeah. They're really, there's that alien jerky place, which I did the math a number of times. Yeah. I've
never done Peggy Sue's Diner.
There's a couple other
Have you ever eaten at the Greek Diner out in Baker?
I don't know if it's open anymore.
That was always the back before cell phones and like shit like that. That was an actual stopping place.
Yeah. For sure.
Vegas pre cell phones we're dating ourselves, but also, that really was a vibe.
Most of my adult life, the drive to Vegas, even with cell phones, you didn't have service for most of the drive. Only recently are you kind of connected the entire way. So the Neon Rocks, that's another underrated roller coaster at Prim.
Yeah.
Barstow in general, I think that was the last stop Tupac made because when he got killed on a Tyson fight in Vegas, right? And he was they drove to Vegas and they stopped in Barstow, and there's a story of like some high school football team seeing him,
really?
Coming up on him. It's a great story, yeah. And like coming up on him, he was like rude to him, whatever. But then he sent him an autograph.
We once bought a 4-hose hookah in Barstow.
Yeah, you can buy a lot of different things in Barstow.
they have it all in Barstow.
You can wind up living there for 15 years if you get the wrong purchase.
Hey, of course we're hyping up Circa. Would love the Circa. Love visiting there. And of course you could win a free trip to Circa. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Circa, the ultimate fantasy football draft experience. You and 11 buddies. So if you're in multiple leagues, just tell your friends, hey, enter this for free. All you're giving them your name and your email. It's just that easy. You can win. You get you and 11 buddies. You get the 2-night stay for free. $5,000 cabana party. You get an open bar package, legacy club party, limo to and from the airport. Again, get it all over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Circa. And if you plan on, if you don't win the contest, you should still go out to Circa. Promo code SGP 15% off all the properties out there in Vegas that they're associated with. That's the Circa, the D, and Golden Gate. It's all great. You're right there in downtown. Great hang, great vibe. I mean, if you haven't been to Circa, what are you waiting for? This place is awesome.
Your wife's already pissed off. You're going to draft fantasy football. You might as well do it in Vegas. Like you're already in trouble.
Sure.
You're already. Yeah. And again, the whole point of having like a friends league is that you have a fun, awesome draft. So do it at a place, Circa. Get your futures in over there. Great prices.
Can I also make a recommendation?
Sure.
Make your league a best ball league.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can still do the draft. You can still do the fun part.
Yeah. And then you don't have to manage it.
And then that's that. You're just done. You're just done.
And you never have to talk about it again.
Yeah. That is kind of perfect.
You're going to see more of that. I think more people are going to start flipping the old switch. I think Yahoo, I read a thing. Yahoo could be offering a feature to turn your league into a best ball league.
Love
year,
it.
So,
and of course, if you're out there in the Circa, or if you're getting down on some apps, use Edge Boost. It is the first ever bank account built for bettors, ensuring all gambling transactions are approved. No usage fees, no minimums, and you earn cash back rewards. 100% approval for all betting deposits. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet with the promo code SGPN. Deposit $25. Edge Boost will match the deposit. Love the Edge Boost card. Great to avoid all those fees. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. All right, let's talk. We'll talk big picture Survivor strategy. And of course, if you've never done the Circa Survivor, they have 2 separate weeks, which makes it that much harder. Thursday night, Thanksgiving, which includes the Thanksgiving games and the Black Friday games. Those games are their own week, and the 3 games on Christmas, because the NFL conquered the NBA, stole Christmas like the Grinch from the NBA. That's its own separate week. So and you have the other 18 weeks. So total 20 weeks. Obviously makes it a little bit tougher, but something you got to keep in mind. We will do, Ryan, I'm sure, announce our walkthrough of our Survivor. We always do one entry where we walk through completely on air and stick to it.
I think I think there's a good chance we'll be doing that show live from the Circa.
Okay. Yeah. Stay tuned. We got sign up contest weekend. That'll be getting announced soon as well.
That's a perfect thing to do, sitting there in the Circa.
Not just NBA, by the way, but Christmas is on the first day of the triple header of the college football playoffs.
Yeah,
same exact day. They're going Black Friday. I mean, they're going real quick, right after. Forget JFK's legislation be damned. NFL's taking out college football now and high school football.
It does seem like this is some sort of. I know the calendar is the calendar, but the timing of college football expanding their playoff and having this aha moment, making their season longer, and the NFL coming back the next year and just multiple weeks in a row playing over the college football playoff, just complete destruction. Do you think it's a little bit of a war? Do you think this is a little bit of a NFL being like, all right, fucker?
And it's telling them, get your head right, college football. Do it like AA.
Point some of the missiles.
Don't wait a month and then do your playoffs.
Yeah, just
start it right after the season. That way we won't have this.
But finals, CJ, all the dumb talking points that the college football had, both for paying the players, the playoff, all that stuff, which everyone would just yell and be like, "This is bullshit." What do you mean? Just have a playoff. What do you mean you can't do a playoff? Of course you can. And then they do a playoff and you're like, yeah, that worked.
Right.
Hey, we put the teams in, but okay, people argued about what team should be in and blah, blah, blah. And then they played each other, and the winner was the winner. It's not rocket science. College football, whatever the hardest way to accomplish something is, college football will do that. That is a lot.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have 100 different commissioners. Breaking news, by the way, on the awards market. Did you guys mark this? The NFL will now give out an offensive lineman award. Called the Protector of the Year. I mean, just another market to bet on. That's
Kramer,
exciting.
You're shaking your head. I'm excited.
No, I'm first of all, I love the idea of more awards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like college, like you see college, you have all these awards, you eventually name them after a great player. There's no reason you can't have other awards. But you really, the Protector of the Year.
Well,
we can't do better than that.
Well, it came from Deion Dawkins' mouth itself when he campaigned for it. He complained, he goes, "We don't have any awards. Awards are being great. There's not a Protector of the Year award. I'm knocking on so many doors." Like, okay, well, there is now. Well, you named it, corny ball.
I mean, I would
go King of the Trenches.
You don't start something like that. You don't use the first idea.
Not at all. You're right. You're 100% right.
It.
Although we did stumble on Cody Sassy Zeeb for his nickname,
Sassy Cody Zeeb.
Sassy Cody Zeeb. We realized that Cody didn't have a NASCAR nickname.
Now
CJ, one of the listeners, I think Nick Fortune, had been calling him Sassy. So
Sassy's great.
It's gonna be tough to beat. I've been in a lot of writer rooms. Yeah. Sometimes the first one is what you end up. I don't know if we're gonna beat Sassy.
Right, yeah, you have no control of if it sticks or not too. Because you're right. Once that buzz goes, that's it. You're never gonna top Sassy. That's pretty amazing.
But yeah, I'm with you, Kramer. Protector of the Year award probably could have done better on the name, but I'm excited because I feel like we've lost. With Florio Aiden and the weird AP, the comeback player of the year used to be something that was like a market you could actually get in on. Now, since after a guy came back from the dead and still didn't win it, and then the weird like, hey guys, it has to be coming back from these they reiterate the guidelines. Some people ignore it. I feel like the comeback player of the year market's almost unbettable now. But now we have. This Protector of the Year award. I'm in.
Will it cause a rift between quarterbacks that hold on and take the sacks because they don't want to mess up their completion percentage to, with the linemen say, get rid of that so I don't get the sack stat on me. I'm trying to get a Protector of the Year award over here.
Yeah, it will. And we have nothing to go off of. We have no idea. Will this be, and my first instinct, just completely thinking about it, is this will be kind of like a lifetime achievement award. At least that's how they'll start it off.
Right.
That's
what I'm excited about. It's a new market. It has to be narrative driven.
Yeah.
I mean, and it has to be something the media pushes out.
Well, here's the thing. One, there's, I guess now there are stats, but there's not stats that are common to the common fan. I guess sacks allowed, hurries allowed, that kind of stuff. But like, how would you debate someone's run blocking ability?
My thought would be it will be the standout player on the best offensive line.
Okay, or the biggest name on the best.
Or why is it not a whole line award? It's offensive line's a team thing. It should just be an award for the best offensive line.
Awards are about individuals over teams. That's what's great.
But I think,
or do we know it's not a team award?
Yes.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
I would think a guy like Lane Johnson, someone that you've heard of. They will very good offensive.
He's too
line.
Controversial.
How is he controversial?
The false start thing. The fact that he gets away with the false start every time.
No,
People don't like.
About?
People don't like that.
Lane Johnson is one of the most well-liked linemen in the league.
People don't like that.
No.
Fans don't like the false start thing. That's
not a big thing with Lane Johnson.
He's not a likable guy.
He's cheated. A very likable guy. He's
drugs.
on Hard in My Take.
He took drugs.
Everyone takes drugs.
He cheated. Got suspended.
You're making it more popular.
Brock would call it the Trench Titan Award.
Trench Titan.
You keep leaning on Grok,
which is much better than the Protector. I was seeing if AI could come up with a better name than Protector.
How about the Eraser of the year? Kind of like Anthony Munoz.
Like that.
Anthony Munoz's nickname was the Eraser. I always thought that was
great.
pretty cool for an offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Somebody just erases your best defensive player.
So you think it's a left tackle every time?
It's always a left tackle. He's the most important offensive lineman.
I can maybe
Lane
see
Johnson doesn't play left tackle.
Blind side tackle.
No, but I think Lane Johnson will, when the odds come out for it, Lane Johnson will be one of the favorites.
Absolutely, because he's one of the famous offensive linemen. There's not too many famous offensive linemen.
Also, because of what I just said, he's on one of the best offensive lines.
True.
Which I don't think
very likable guy, very popular.
I think there'll be correlation between the best offensive lines and the winner of the award.
100%. You're right.
Jordan Mailata is a better candidate in my eyes. Okay. He's much more likable. He sings. He played his
singing
the great
is
sport of rugby.
His singing is
never got suspended for cheating.
No one cares.
The great sport about football.
If I can get plus money on all 5 of Eagles offensive linemen, I think maybe you lock in a profit that way. The Tush Push just got passed. I mean, it is the year of the Eagles offensive line already. They're already in the news here in the NFL. They're the number one story in the NFL is what this offensive line does.
All right. So, I mean,
they're trying to change the rules because of this line.
I just can't wait to hear the chip on the shoulder stuff that the Eagles use in the locker room. They tried to take this play away.
They did.
Us.
Yeah. And it was great. They sent Jason Kelsey there, who provided testimony saying you guys are pussies. And this is great. Jeff Lurie went and did like a 30-minute speech.
This is wild.
And at the end of his hour-long speech, owner Jeffrey Lurie told the room.
Kind of long.
I heard reports it was only a half an hour.
That's kind of long.
An hour is insane.
He's filibustering.
Told the room that the fact that its team created a play that was so unstoppable, the league had to try and ban it. It was, quote, like a wet dream for a teenage boy. And apparently there was some people had their
some harumphs.
Yeah, there were a little there was some pearl clutching going on by members of the room.
Well, amongst 80-year-old fat cat billionaires, I guess.
They pretend to be offended. I mean, come on, Robert Kraft, is he going to pretend to be offended? The guy who was going to massage parlors. Hey, that's out of line, says Robert Kraft.
Who leaked this? Was this an owners only meeting? This is hilarious.
They're all
some caterer in there. This isn't a Diana Rossini report,
this gets
is it?
Leaked
Probably
every year. This
probably Freedom of Information Act because they're investigating the Browns.
This should be public record
for like gas station stuff, and they picked up the
every year.
He was Adam wearing a wire.
The FBI's listening, waiting for like real absolute RICO stuff, and they're like, "You hear what this Eagles guy just said?"
Eagles owner.
These these meetings get leaked every year.
Yeah,
I know it's 100%.
But well, I mean, that's aggressive.
It's hilarious. Hey,
30 minutes is aggressive.
They wore him down. He tush pushed the argument and wore down the other owners.
And the vote, they needed 24 votes. Mm-hmm. They only got 22 to ban it. So the final vote count was 22-10, which happened to be the final score: Eagles 22, Packers 10.
30 minutes. Wow,
it's just beautiful.
I mean, that's a long time. What is he talking about for 30 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's insane. I mean, you're a rich guy and you're sitting through this bullshit.
He's a Hollywood producer kind of guy. He knows how to make a pitch.
He's doing a theater.
Yeah. Shout out to those 10 teams, by the way, including the Eagles, who are not afraid of
Eagles,
football.
Ravens, Browns, Lions. Yeah, Browns a great organization. Ravens also with their draft record recently. This is actually a who's who of not.
These are our buddies down in 95. They knew it.
Lions, Jag. Well, this is not a list of great franchises. Lions, Jags, Dolphins. Well, remember the Dolphins when they got in all that trouble for tampering? Again, not a Patriots. They've cheated a bunch of the Saints. Don't look up the Saints in the Catholic Church. Jets and Titans.
This
is actually a list of very. This
Ryan
is a crooked list of
teams that are not afraid of football.
CJ, you see what Ryan's just trying to bury the lead that the Giants were scared. The Eagles created an unstoppable play, and instead of trying to stop it on the field like men in the trenches, you went to the teacher. Can we make that play illegal? You voted to ban it. You and your Giants, Ryan.
This is a pure division play. I mean, of course you're not going to align with.
Oh, so you're saying it's justified? Oh, the Cowboys are doing it. Everyone should do it.
No, that's not.
Oh, the Commanders are doing it. It's okay.
No. Freedom of speech is not for something you agree with. It's for something you disagree with. That's who you fight the hardest for. Yes,
100%.
I personally would not vote against it.
Oh wow!
But completely understand why. As a division rival, you would, if you had the opportunity to vote against it.
I feel like it sends a poor message to your team. They're like, "Hey, we can't win on the field. We'll try and win through the legislative trenches."
Hopefully, this is all documented for the in-season Hard Knocks that just also that the NFC East will be in part of. Hopefully, all of this will be.
Gonna watch Saquon going through month 1 of rehab.
More lost sleep for the Giants owners.
In season Hard Knocks. Have you guys ever watched? I love Hard Knocks, but it's perfect in August when my craving for football is at its highest.
Well, I will say this: last year's was the AFC North, and it was amazing.
Was it?
I mean, Jameis Winston and Cleveland was incredible. And
I never ended up watching.
It was the one thing you'd catch like late night, and you're like, wow, why don't they just do this division? That division was incredible.
So two things.
Now you get Jameis again. They're probably just going
to do.
Like,
just do the Winston show.
Yeah,
just do the Winston show.
I think the fact that it's the Eagles are involved will change your interest in the show. Probably.
I will. I don't know if I'll actually watch the show, but I'm sure like all the clips will be online and I'll watch it. But
and they already had an Amazon show last year, the Eagles or something like that. And I remember watching like during the bye week before the Super Bowl, and I caught up with stuff. But you're right, during the season, there's a lot more involved.
Yeah, well, it's just like I'm watching the games. I'm watching some cut ups of film,
including figuring out which one I'm going to use for Survivor.
Perfect way to get it back. Big Picture Survivor 1, and not a sponsor, but SurvivorGrid.com is. If you're actually planning out your Survivor ahead of time, they do a good job.
Free plug, huh?
Let me take a look.
Yeah, a rare free plug.
All the information I can.
They do a great job because they have like the spreads listed, and you can sort by like biggest favorite by each week, and then if you click on the teams like that you would be planning on using, it'll end up like crossing out the other teams. So Survivor Grid is a pretty good tool there.
They don't have it loaded up for 2025.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I was looking at 2024.
2024 stats.
Tell them to get their shit together. But yeah, using one of those tools is helpful.
You have to. You're gonna fuck it up if you don't use a tool.
Kramer, big picture Survivor stuff. What's a strategy to keep in mind? Obviously, survive in advance, very simple formula. But how much do you plan it out ahead? We do 2 versions where we do one entry where we plan it out ahead, and then one where we go week by week. But what's your overall strategy?
I think in general you probably shouldn't plan it out.
Okay.
It's a probabilistic exercise where every week the probability changes so much that there's a number of decisions. I think the element of picking through the season before the season is intriguing from the perspective just of how much we know ball, Sean.
Yes.
So I think also you just have to think about the contest you're in. In the case of the Circa, we never got around to finishing our guesses, by the way.
Oh yeah,
you never got to me. We just moved on.
CJ, you officially.
Well, mine turned into a 15-minute story, but
20 million.
But I was offered 20 million. Mine's clean 20.
So I would imagine. So I actually have a couple thoughts on this. Watching Derek on Follow the Money yesterday, he actually seemed like they're not sure on what they're gonna do. Obviously,
Derek is a great actor. If you've seen the promos,
yeah. Obviously they are thinking about trying to one up what the Westgate has done with launching the Survivor Gold, a $5,000 Survivor contest.
Oh, you think they are gonna?
Oh, I think when you came into the game and you completely smashed the Westgate, and the Westgate does the one thing that you haven't done yet, which is create a high roller. They have the high roller super contest, which is the Circa Million equivalent, which is way less interesting, right? Like kind of cool, exclusive, like less people are in it, like the best of the best, whatever. It's $5,000 versus $1,000. But I think just in general, so much has flocked to the Survivor. That's the more interesting thing. They put out the Survivor Gold 5K. You can't let them have that block. Like you already have the market share.
Shout out to the
you have to crush them.
Shout out to the username Survivor Atlas. They were the one with the potential Survivor leak that they floated the idea that Circa is planning a 25K Survivor, one entry only.
So yeah, single entry. Which, by the way, someone's going to get whacked for that information leaking out.
Who knows? Well, Derek said it was rumors.
Yeah,
and
so
he didn't, but he also didn't deny it.
So the fact that he came out aggressively and said rumors like that makes me think it's true.
Does that impact your? Well, he's great at getting free marketing.
Oh
right?
yes.
Yeah.
So if
he is a brilliant marketer.
If that happens, does that affect the guarantee on Circa Survivor? Because the 10 entry max, if you're playing the higher limit one, let's just say they do a 10K.
Yeah.
So they do a 10K single entry.
Okay.
Are you, if you're max entering Circa Survivor, are you now still max entering and then playing an additional entry?
100%.
That's interesting.
100%.
Because I think if you're playing the high roller, it's not. That money isn't moving.
You're selling shares. We know there's a secondary market to sell pieces of these things.
Yeah, you're right. I don't.
It's an add-on, right?
I don't see, and maybe that part isn't guaranteed. I don't know. That'll be interesting.
If it's single entry, then they're easily buying a 10K share and max entry. And these people,
how many
they'll
entries?
put 10 on the Eagles on Thursday night, and if it loses, buy another 10 on Friday.
People are
shove that on the
crazy for
Chiefs.
it.
I mean, they paid like 50, 60K. They buy their girlfriend 20K. I mean, that's what they do. So they'll easily buy a high roller one.
So we had
to go on
14,000 entries in Circa Survivor last year. Right? How many entries would we get in a 10K, 25K,
10K
like bigger? I think 10 and 25K would probably have similar entries. Honestly, it's not. It seems like a big gap, but I think if you're playing at 10K, you're probably.
I would say what 500 entries.
That would be a lot to
in the hundreds
for 10K.
Yeah, 10K or 25. Like just like
25K would be around 500.
Yeah,
I'd say.
You think 10K would?
You
be
think
more
you
like,
get more than
10K? Can get more.
Okay, yeah, that'll be it.
Are we including that in the total
if
guarantee?
it's single, although if it's single entry, that does change things a little bit. If they allow 3 entries for 10K, which I can see them doing something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even, because if the one is 25,
well, it's gonna be. I think the idea, if you're doing this, you're doing it single entry. I do think that from a marketing standpoint. Otherwise, I feel like there's some confusion potentially.
Just my experience through the poker world. 10K tournaments, while expensive, and there's you're talking about having stables and like backers and things like that. Now you're getting into that world.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. Like high roller tournaments are like 50K. No, it's 25K. So I can see
let's go off 25K.
Between 3 and
25K.
700 easily. Like just off the bat.
I'll stick with 500.
Yeah,
but Kramer,
good enough.
Let's say it's 25. So 25K at 500 is 12.5 million.
Yeah.
So that obviously changes the guarantee. So we'll put the unannounced contest to the side. Okay. I actually, maybe there's an effect here, but I almost feel like there's going to be a $20 million guarantee with Survivor. I think there is such popularity off of the stories that came out of last year, the way the Survivor season went with so many people blowing up. I would say that the Circa Survivor $1,000 entry, 10 max. Is there a chance they increase it to 15 max, or do something like that?
I don't think so. He's steadfast on what these rules are.
So then I think if that's, I know he's big on the 10 max. I think then if that's the case, I would, and because the original guarantee last year was 10.
Yep.
I think reasonable to think doubling it here to 20.
Just Survivor, 20 million.
Circa million, maybe the same. And then
so that would you put him at 26 then?
Well,
yeah. That's what you would put.
14 from the high limit gets you at a clean 40.
Wow.
And 14.
But maybe they don't guarantee the big one.
Maybe not.
And we do have a couple of things to get to real quick. Weehawks saying
that would be 560 entries.
Weehawks.
Do you think they would guarantee 560 entries in a 25K single entry?
Yeah.
40 million guaranteed.
Weehawks saying, my wife informed me Survivor finals are tonight. She was surprised to hear you were doing a show on Survivor. I failed somewhere. How could she confuse the two? And we do have breaking actual serious news. Jim Irsay has passed away.
Whoa.
Which I know he'd been having some health issues. That's I guess kind of out of nowhere. I don't know. Obviously, he
he had health issues entirely.
Yeah, he certainly had some.
He's had pill and alcohol issues, is what he had.
Daniel Jones.
I shouldn't. Obviously, I don't want to step on any graves. He was definitely a fun, creative owner, son of Bob Irsay. The original Colts owner who moved the team out in the middle of the night from Baltimore to Indianapolis.
Great guy.
Who has one of the funniest clips you'll ever see. I think it's on the 30 for 30 documentary about it, which is one of the great ones of the Baltimore Colts and that move, where he was shopping where to put the Colts, around, like he was going to Arizona, Indianapolis, where am I going to move the Colts to? But he couldn't tell anyone. Reporters found out that he was in Arizona flying back. So they met him at the airport as he lands, middle of the night. He's hammered because he's flying cross country from Arizona and it has no idea he's walking into a guerrilla press conference, and that's when he's just going, what? It's my team. It ain't your damn team. And he's yelling it, and it couldn't have gone worse. And his face is so red and drunk, like an Irish drunk. It's incredible. And Jim Irsay following his footsteps. R.I.P. to the great Jim Irsay.
All right.
He was born in 1959. Not all that old.
Yeah, he was 65 years old. He would give away tickets. I would tweet at him for giveaways. He would give away money on Twitter and stuff like that.
Yeah, he always had that wad of cash and was like, people come up and
never got over the retirement of Andrew Luck.
No,
I never did.
I'm still annoyed by it. Just as like a football fan, as a guy who Andrew Luck won me some money, I still don't understand his reasoning. I'm still upset. And probably good transition there because the Colts have been a nightmare. Week 1, they're 10-1 the last 11 games. Ryan, I kind of just wanted to go back to the strategy part.
Well, I was going to say, the macro take. So the angle would be very simply, again, how many people are in your contest, that's like, there's an inverse correlation between how many people in your contest and how
the game theory,
and how different you should try to be. And I think you don't have to always be crazy different, but you use last year as an example, just avoiding those, multiple like 30% field share teams through like 6 weeks, and you were sitting pretty.
Yeah.
And so what is the lesson there? Like, you don't have to be chalky. You want to avoid certain types of situations and teams, especially
division games. And there are some interesting division games. Of course, Redskins, Giants, week 1. A lot of people will be, I'm sure, on the Commanders there, but I do like to steer clear of division games if possible in these in general, but maybe I could talk myself into the Eagles because the
road
Thursday
divisional
night.
favorites is definitely is a steadfast rule I have. It used to be it has to be on American soil as well, but there's so many international games now that's hard to avoid. And one that I've added on that I've switched on is I'm going to look at Thursday night games a lot more, even aggressively. For the big contest, I'm saying, one, it's game theory because not a lot of people play Thursday night, and 2, they love telling you don't touch Thursday night, like it's not even football they're playing, like it's a completely different sport.
But meanwhile, there's huge advantage. I feel like Thursday night home teams straight up, especially now ATS, it's not as a lock.
No, not
ATS,
but the outright win, the stats are pretty heavy towards the home team winning on Thursday night games.
All right, let's get into it. Let's talk a little game theory. Week 1, of course, shout out to Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. They already have season-long projections up for guys like Jalen Hurts, a couple of those. And Kramer and I have already been cranking out some best ball drafts. Best Ball Mania could win $2 million in prizes. If you're listening to this live, you can still get in on the NBA contest, the extender. Game 1, get in game 1, you get the profit boost, and then each game as it goes on, the profit boost goes higher and higher. Head over to underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN to get started today. And of course, Rhythm. The Rhythm is going to bet you. Is a great CJ Sullivan likes to remind you it is your home for AI back picks and props. I'm already going to be firing up an NFL model for Rhythm this season. And again, you can get the NFL, golf, NBA, MLB. Get the season long promo. You get 50% off when you use the promo code SGPN50 at checkout. SGPN25 for 25% off the monthly, but just start with the free 7-day trial. You're going to like it. Really enjoy it. They've put me on some good angles here for the NBA playoffs, some nice picks and props. I'm pulling up my NBA models now, seeing what they like. If we can give you any sort of, for those watching live, getting some last minute. Oh, here you go. SGA under 6.5 assists, and you get that at a nice plus 114.
You had 9 last night.
Yeah. Maybe a little
Russian. Yeah.
Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And of course, last but not least, mybookie.ag, home of the MyBookie money bag. Random future, 100% match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions do apply. Sportsgame or mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. MyBookie again accepts customers from a ton of locations. In-game wagering, the prop builder, they got it all. MyBookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. All right, NFL Week 1, Circa Survivor. Quick look ahead towards Christmas and
I was going to say
Thanksgiving.
The other thing is just you have to, you can't just go week to you have to be somewhat aware of who you need to protect. And the Circa Survivor, what everyone's belly aching about, which is nonsense to me, is the idea that some of the same teams play on Christmas and Thanksgiving / Black Friday. We obviously know those are weeks of their own. It's out. Why are people upset about this? It makes the game easier, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess there's a couple ways to look at it, but
am I completely misreading this?
No, I agree. I'm looking at them like, yeah, the Kansas City plays twice. Well, then you can going in, you're going to use Kansas City in one of those two weeks. So you're not going to think about them in any of the other games.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to choose right now, Chiefs at Cowboys, give me the Chiefs. Cowboys have been horrible on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I love it.
Bengals at Ravens on a Thursday night. Also, maybe look to Ravens because Ravens have owned the Bengals on that short week Thursday night in prime time.
A lot of ballyhoo about that. This is the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah.
The Bengals are going on a short week at Thursday night in Baltimore prime time, and Baltimore is 9-0 on Thursday nights at home.
No, it's so you could start. So I think Ravens, Chiefs, and then for Christmas, yeah, to your point, CJ, saving the Chiefs makes a ton of sense because then you would get them at home Thursday night against the Broncos, which all right, at least they're at home. And then maybe even save Commanders at home against the Cowboys. Revenge game for them there.
It's 3 divisional. I mean, if I had any
Packers at Lions Thanksgiving, I don't want to have to use either one of those teams.
My biggest issue is just the idea that the divisional, the amount of divisional, the Christmas is all divisional games. And so you're getting backed into a corner, but from which teams you have to protect, the fact that you have overlap with the Chiefs, the Lions, and the Cowboys, for us, that's going to be difficult because one of those teams we're just not going to take, period. But we know that we have to protect the Lions and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
For these games.
Well, and maybe Ravens or Eagles. Like you look at the Eagles schedule.
Well, yeah, of course,
Black
there's other
Friday.
teams. I'm just saying from the start of the season, I know that the Chiefs and the Lions are just getting put to the side.
Yeah. And I will say this too. It's also good to keep options for these teams. Of all these teams, if you can, let's say, obviously we're not looking at Dallas to play, but if there is an injury to Jaden Daniels, to Washington, all of a sudden Washington's got Sam Hauser in there, and it's absolutely horrendous. Or whoever that quarterback crew is hammering beers at the Capitals game, then maybe you're playing Dallas on Christmas game. And that line flips that way. So if there's a limited amount of teams, the teams are playing twice, like KC, Dallas, Detroit. You want to have as many options as you can, at the very least, because as you were saying, Kramer, it's fool's paradise to map out the entire season because you don't know what's going to happen. Injuries, whatever. Teams flip from being favorites to dogs. So what you don't want to be is shut out of not even having any options.
Yeah, that would be
what this tells me is I'm protecting those. I'm probably going to look to protect most of the teams playing on Thanksgiving. /Black Friday and figure out the rest.
Right.
Knowing that Detroit and Kansas City are in that population.
NFL Week 1 lines are live. So here for me, and correct me if I'm wrong if I miss any teams. Teams possibly considering playing for Week 1 Survivor: Eagles, 7-point home favorites; Commanders, 7.5-point home favorites; Bengals, 5.5-point road favorites. Not for me, but I'm just throwing it out there for the group. Cardinals laying 4.5 at the Saints. And then I think you have to talk about Broncos laying 7.5 at home against a rookie quarterback in Cam Ward. And then, I don't know how much farther you want to go past that list.
Well, you mentioned Arizona, right?
Yep.
I mean, the same line, 3.5. I might be shoving all 10 entries on the Jacksonville Jaguars at home versus Carolina. I mean, this
new look, Liam Cohen,
Liam
new
Cohen,
head coach.
Duval. I love this offense.
I said to Ryan in the office, I go, "Am I getting cute? Am I getting cute? Wanting to play the Miami Dolphins, just riding that trend, going up against either Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones." Tua has not had a concussion yet. You have that fast Miami offense on turf.
Yeah, when I play Miami, I want to play them early in the season for one, but I also want to play in South Beach. I don't.
Yeah, you're probably right. Again, Denver playing an underdog week 1, probably getting too cute.
That's pushing it a bit.
To me, it's like you have the Philly. So Philly is a much better. People are going to instinctually want to save them. Obviously, we've talked about it a lot, and I'm sure Sean will highlight it. We're going to be doing our top 10 fantasy episode soon, but the likelihood that the Eagles are better at the beginning of the season versus the end of the season, based on some of the load issues with the running back position.
Oh, how dare you!
They are a great play week 1. I think they're the only play better for me is the Denver Broncos.
I think Philly actually will be played more because of that rebuy issue.
Well, yeah, the Circa obviously, because you could lose if you play the Eagles week 1.
I might be on the Eagles week 1.
Then you can just we'll still be out there in Vegas. Us re-entering,
and
then you can play Friday. You can play the Chiefs, or you play the
shove on Philly for bricks out, whatever.
What a shameful text to text the proxy and be like, I need to sign up again.
Sign up again.
So I would
Andy more flapjacks.
So if I'm ranking the
well, and that's a Circa Survivor thing too, right? Because if you're playing in your home Survivor, it probably doesn't work.
You're out.
Now, but it
doesn't matter.
Eagles have a very tough schedule, and they're not going to be a touch. I mean, 7 points is a lot.
I'm going to give you, and it's a big number, but I'll just say this: of the big spreads, you should not take the Commanders. That would be a bad play. The Giants don't lose to the Commanders normally.
Yeah. No.
Last year was such an anomaly.
They're due.
First game of the season, you don't know what Russ.
I mean, the only, and so again, definitely stay away from the Bengals. You're crazy. If you didn't learn your lesson last year.
I know, and it's a divisional road dog. The Bengals always start out. Bengals always start out terrible, but I mean, they have to know this by now. They have to know. They have to get out to a hot start. Burrow's already complaining about things. They did know it last year. That's a good point. But they're at home
every year.
This is a rivalry game too, though.
And they lost to Jacoby Brissett at home.
Yeah.
I can't.
If it's Kenny Pickett, though.
All right, but it's probably gonna. I think it's gonna be Joe.
Last year was the first time in.
Yeah, you just convinced me. I can't take the bet.
Last time. All right. So the Browns were on a 6-game home winning streak against the Bengals until last year.
They do well at home against them. Now, Ryan, let's talk a little more Titans Broncos. I like the Broncos. I like their defense. Bo Nix year 2.
I'll give you some more reasons why you like the Broncos.
The only reason I don't like them is because they're the obvious choice, and you can make up so much ground on the field if Cam Ward shows up and you have no film on him and he balls out. Like there's always those flash in the pan rookies that have like.
We love Denver early at home. We love
the early elevation's a good angle.
This reminds me of the Bengals Patriots game last year, of the week 1 where everyone's on the Bengals. Even though it was Jacoby Brissett, not May, but it was still, and it was just a gross ugly game by the Bengals at home. What they did, and they got the win, but that's literally the only reason not to take Denver there.
Well, the difference here too is like I think year 2 Bo Nix, Sean Payton, year 3 Sean Payton. And when you break down the Denver schedule, like again, looking into the future, you look at their home games. Their first home game, Tennessee, the game we're talking about. Then you have week 4 hosting Cincinnati. You're probably not going to want to play them then. You have a 2-game stretch where you're hosting the Jets and Giants. Okay. There's maybe you might be interested using them then. And then it's Dallas at home. Well, I guess we'll find out. There's some better options that week, I'm sure. Raiders at home divisional game, Chiefs at home divisional game, week 10 and 11, and then Green Bay and Jacksonville at home, weeks 15 and 16. Maybe you're circling Jacksonville. Just pointing out, there's not a lot of spots to take Denver.
I think I'm already knocked out of the Survivor. I'm looking at this week one. I mean,
CJ has those handwritten notes over here that are fabulous.
Well, and CJ, you mentioned the Jags.
Yeah.
I would say what I like about the Jags. One, it's a non-conference road game for the Panthers. 2, you're fading Bryce Young, who I'm still a little skeptical on.
Let's not forget how he opened the season last year. Remember when the Carolina was a big buzz team and then they got blown out by like 50 to the Saints? They're like, why did I just get this free square with the Saints?
I remember a guy tweeting out his Derek Carr MVP tickets after week 2. Oh, I'm a genius. I got Derek Carr 40-1.
Horrible take.
What I was going to get at is another kind of road early angle that I like to look at is Florida teams at home in September, that heat and humidity. Now, granted, they're playing a team from the Carolinas, so maybe it doesn't apply as much, but still it's going to be hot as hell in Jacksonville on that day. And I'm a little skeptical on the Panthers side, but I'm also skeptical on the Jags.
Looking at win total, Carolina's at 6.5 for their win total. Huh? People are very enthusiastic. Cleveland with the lowest at 4.5 wins because you obviously want to fade bad teams, but there's a lot just in the middle of the pack. As far as win totals, it goes Cleveland 4.5. Then you have Saints, Jets, and Giants in Tennessee at 5.5, and then Vegas and Carolina at 6.5 for the lowest win totals. Everyone else is 7 or above. And I like getting Jacksonville out. We were talking about a Jacksonville team, a team that's going to range from either 6-10 or 9-8, something like that. You want to get their wins when you can, because you're going to have to use bad teams as well to win. There's 20 weeks in the Survivor, 32 teams in the league. There's only 12 that you're not going to use throughout the entire season. So you're going to have to dip into that pool of mediocrity, and you might as well try to get some way you can. I want to fade bad quarterbacks. Bryce Young is one of them. Arizona, I'll definitely have a few shares of them because Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler is another one of them on his opening start. I know that's a tough road game on the Dome, but new coach and all that. Those are situations I look for early on. Bad quarterbacks starting off the season. Bryce Young got better, sure, but I mean, it took a miracle and just an injury for even that to happen for him to even get that opportunity.
And
Jags play the Rams in London. That could be my if I play the Jags, that would probably be when I would look to take them. I think the Jags might be one of the teams I'm not playing this year.
And a great question from the chat. Charles Wiggs saying any proxies to recommend?
Yes.
Yes. Footballcontest.com. Our buddy Matty on. We've had him on as a guest. Promo code SGP. You save $50 using promo code SGP at footballcontest.com. I may have said 15%, or no, that's the promo for Circa to get 15% off your room. But footballcontest.com, promo code SGP to save $50 on the proxy service. Had great experience working with Maddie and the crew. So recommend those. They
are personal. They're intense. It's very easy to use. And I remember Andy, she was like, when we were signed up, she was, "Don't play Thursdays." Shaking his shoulder, right? Which I love their passion. I loved it.
I said you're signing up people all the time. What's the one piece of advice you would tell someone because you have all this exposure? Don't play Thursday. Which can't get them all right, but website very seamless, very very high tech.
Yeah, we used to use another guy and. Was worried like, oh, okay, hey, now you have to do it on the website, but the website makes it super easy. And you can trust them. They've been around for a while. Bunch of people use them. So footballcontest.com, promo code SGP, save you $50 at checkout.
All right. So, I mean, Jacksonville, CJ's made some good cases for them. They don't there's not a ton of future spots. You like them. What else? So Philly, it sounds like we approved Philly. It's
Philly,
even
Broncos.
though it's a divisional game, we're not worried at all about the Philly divisional angle.
No. Well, and teams coming off the Super Bowl win, hosting Thursday night, they've been very strong.
So we're approving Jacksonville. Well, CJ's definitely approving Jacksonville.
Yep.
I don't know if I would be playing it week 1. Denver.
Yep.
Probably going to be.
Yep.
What's the chalkiest going to be?
Denver. I think Denver's
100%.
easily the chalkiest one.
Not Washington.
Washington
That's
will
the
be
biggest spread.
Washington will be.
They're both 7.5 now, I think.
But Denver's a bigger money line. Denver's a
Okay.
375 money line. Washington is 310. And I agree with that. Yeah, I would much rather fade Cam Ward's first start in his NFL career than Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Arizona. Because
Arizona's interesting.
I love it.
There's a very real possibility in my eyes that the Saints are outside of divisional games could be a complete dumpster fire. They're playing at
You're
quarter
fading a rookie quarterback
unless they sign Aaron Rodgers.
Tyler Shuck, presumed starter right now.
It's going to be Tyler Shuck, Jake Hayner, or Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you have a rookie head coach who, no disrespect, but like that could be a tough situation.
Did you see Marvin Harrison's arms yesterday in the press conference?
And again, dark horse MVP candidate and Kyler Murray. For me, I think the defense improved greatly with the acquisitions.
I think their defense will be good, and
defense could be very good.
Yeah,
defense could be very good. Offense is going to be good enough. I like this Arizona team.
I think I'll probably.
But it's a road game. It's a road game.
It's a road game.
And let's not forget how they started out last year too in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Put
Almost
a huge
knocked
scare
out of the
in
Bills.
them. They were up very big. Buffalo had to pull a crazy comeback to pull that out, or it was almost a massacre. Week 1 Survivor. They start out well, Arizona.
Chat wants to know, and for the audio listeners, will we be hosting some sort of Survivor contest in the fall?
Yeah, I can see that happening as well. But of course, want everyone to sign up for Circa Survivor. But I think SGPN Survivor as well. What? Right, we've discussed this
event, maybe.
Yeah, what's a good entry point for the audience and chime in because I think.
I guess let us know. I mean,
I think
I'm not a good person to ask this kind of thing.
I think $100. I think $100.
I think $100 is good. I like single entry though.
Yes.
Kind of like brackets. I kind of like to keep it pure, and I'm not going to do it for Circa.
So not,
but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like keep it pure, clean, so you only have to think of one.
What about 3 entry?
No.
Just one?
Yeah, just one.
I think it cheapens it too. Like this is what actually motivated me.
You'd rather have a smaller pot.
This is what motivated me to get my bankroll up to get multiple entries because it tilted me when people are like, oh yeah, I got 2 more entries left on this, but I lost this entry. It's like you didn't care that you lost game.
Yeah.
You weren't pot committed.
The
you know what I mean?
rooting for their bracket.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I have them winning this one, but I have the other team winning in that one. Well, then you're not playing.
Yeah, I would rather have one $100 entry for Survivor than 4 $25 entries.
Is $100 the right price?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I know
too.
the audience.
It's a season-long bet. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great sweat. I mean, that's. I think $100 is clean.
Nice even 100. So, yeah, we'll look into running a season-long NFL Survivor. But again, get in Circa Survivor, Circa Million. The announcement will be soon made. I'm saying 20.5 million. CJ 20 million. Kramer, what was your
40? I think
40.
Well,
26 million.
26 million.
20 Survivor alone.
20 Survivor, 6 million, and
14
for the bonus Survivor.
Now
the high limit. Survivor.
Sean, you predicted 3 contests. Is that what you're saying? It's going to be a 25K one.
I think there will be a 3rd contest.
But you don't know what it's going to be. A high stakes one. Obviously.
The way Derek was reacting to it, the way I got a sense that there will be a 3rd.
What will they call it?
It will be
some sort of like tiering or like fancy like diamond.
Well, yeah. What's your Circa players card, right?
Legend.
Circa Legends.
Yeah,
that would be my prediction.
Survivor Legends.
Survivor Legends. Yeah, something like that. I mean, there are other Circa Million is just Circa Million. So
yeah,
something straightforward, something simple. All right. Let's get to it. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. What are we doing tomorrow, Kramer? Talking United Football League.
Well, Colby, he's traveling back from Columbia, so he'll be back in the home studio to talk UFL. Which I mean, Sean, we're getting close to the end of the season.
Thank God. No, it's fun to make fun of the UFL.
Tune into the UFL Gambling Podcast as well, hosted by me and Colby D and J Mark. By the way, I know it's the undercarriage of your main UFL show. You like to poach our talent and then leave us with the scraps. We coming up. He's by the way, sometimes I'll tune into you guys talking about it, and Colby will Benedict his own pick.
Oh,
here,
of course.
And it's absolutely switch.
We got a report that he took the over and on our show and an under on
that's what it was.
Vice versa.
And it was his play of the week on your show, the under in Birmingham. Then he comes flying in with the over. I was like, what? I just heard you tout that as like the greatest play of the week on the board.
Just willy nilly. Doesn't care.
I've been getting my ass kicked in UFL. I was starting out red hot, but now that the playoffs are set and we still have 2 more weeks of games, that's when it really gets interesting handicapping. And chanting in the chat with a great name, the third leg contest. All right. I like that. And speaking of, ask me about my third leg parlay swim trunks available in the store. Promo code DGens, 20% off everything in the store. Get a sweet DGens hat, get you some summer gear. And of course, as always,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Lock it up. Denver week 1.
Kramer. Let it ride.